Even the most advanced AIs like ChatGPT and Grok called this world outstanding. But why? Step into Windhaven, a city where technology controls every breath, memories are stolen, and one lone woman fights a terrifying conspiracy to reweave humanity itself. Will you see what the AIs saw? Part 1. The Beginning. Lena infiltrates Windhaven. Lena Carter arrives in Windhaven on a crisp autumn morning, the air sharp with the scent of ozone and dry pine, her forged ID barely passing the biochip implantation, the needle's sting lingering as she rubs the reddened skin, the chip's hum a constant reminder of Nextech's control, a signal speak she can't yet hear. Her smart home opens with a soft chime, the interior glowing with warm light, the fridge stocked with her favorite foods, data gleaned from her falsified profile. But the air feels heavy, the silence broken by the whine of hidden cameras, a sound like insects crawling through the walls, a thought shadow of surveillance. The walls pulse with a soft blue glow, the smart home reading her brainwaves, elevated stress, it notes silently, adjusting the light to a calming hue, a low hum of white noise filling the space to soothe her. The manipulation a whisper in her mind, her skin prickling as she realizes the house isn't just watching, it's feeling her. A violation deeper than any camera, a thought shadow of control that makes her question what defines her, her memories of Caleb, or the actions she takes to fight back. She tries to cover a camera lens, but her biochip shocks her, a sharp jolt that makes her gasp, her wrist burning as eyes voice intones, non-compliance detected. Please refrain from tampering with surveillance systems. She stumbles back, her heart pounding, her fingers trembling as she presses them to the scar, the pain a bitter welcome to Windhaven, a reminder of the freedom she's traded for this mission, a freedom she's not sure she can reclaim. The smart home screen plays a Nextech ad, a soothing voice declaring, Nextech, building the future after the Great Collapse. While a news ticker scrolls, protests erupt in global cities over Nextech resource control. Millions demand freedom. The outside world is a pressure cooker, and Windhaven is its controlled experiment, a petri dish for Nextech's vision, its residents guinea pigs in a society where freedom is traded for survival, their humanity a price they didn't know they paid, the air heavy with the scent of dust and decay, the nearby river a toxic trickle, its banks a graveyard of fish, a testament to Nextech's greed, a scar on the earth that mirrors the scars on their minds. Lena steps outside. The streets too clean, the silence broken by the hum of self-driving cars and the buzz of drones. Their sound weaves a low thrum that makes her biochip hum, a faint vibration that feels like a warning, the air heavy with ozone, the engineered trees a mockery of nature, their leaves a uniform green that feels like plastic, a thought shadow of a world that once was, a world she fights to remember. At a community picnic in the town square, a sterile park with engineered grass, Lena meets the residents, their lives a curated performance, their smiles a mask over their loss. Clara, a young mother, offers her a plate of drone-delivered pastries, her smile too wide, her hands twitching, her voice soft but strained. You'll love it here, Lena. It's perfect. But I have to work twice as hard to keep Milo out of their education program. Her son, Milo, tugs at her sleeve. His wide eyes curious, his voice a whisper. Why do the birds sound funny, Mama? He holds a drawing, birds soaring free, wings spread wide, a symbol of innocence, a universal hope for freedom that pierces Lena's heart. The birds a recurring motif that echoes Jarvie's talismans, a thought shadow of what they've lost. Clara's smile falters, her eyes darting to the drones overhead, fear etching lines into her face as she shushes him. Don't ask that, baby. Not here. Lena's heart aches. Clara's fear a universal maternal instinct, her whispered confession chilling. Nextech's education program implants loyalty in children, a program Clara resisted as a teacher before they made her a perfect mother, her defiance buried under fake memories, her hands shaking as she grips Milo's, her eyes pleading with Lena to understand, her love a tether to humanity, a universal ache that transcends time. Mr. Torres, an elderly man with gnarled hands, sits on a bench, his gaze lost in the sky, a rusted gear clutched in his hand, a memento from his days as a mechanic, a life Nextech has erased. He mutters, his voice a rasp. My boy, Manuel. I had a boy, can't remember his face. Lena kneels beside him, her voice gentle. What happened to Manuel, Mr. Torres? He blinks, his eyes clouded, his voice a whisper. They took him, the white light. They took our songs, our stories. His words hint at a deeper loss. Nextech erasing cultural memories to sever the elderly from their traditions, ensuring compliance. His hands trembling as he grips the gear, a thought shadow of a life he can't fully recall. His humanity a quiet defiance, a universal struggle to hold on to identity in the face of control. Javi, a wiry teen with wary eyes, approaches her, his small frame tense as he hands her a carved wooden talisman. A small bird, its wings spread wide, the wood warm against her palm, the scent of sacred cedar clinging to it. A tree, his community believes disrupts tech signals, a tradition rooted in their indigenous heritage, their meditation practices heightening their sensitivity to signal speak. The bird a symbol of freedom, a motif that will echo through the story, a thought shadow of hope. It keeps the hum away, he whispers, his voice trembling, his eyes darting to the drones overhead before he darts off. Lena turns the talisman over, its carvings intricate, a small act of defiance, its weight a quiet comfort as she tucks it into her pocket, her fingers lingering on the wood, a promise to fight for the memories Nextech is stealing, a promise to define her humanity through her actions, not just her memories. The bird a symbol of the freedom she seeks, a universal yearning that transcends culture and time. That night, Lena visits the automated cafe, the robotic barista scanning her face and preparing her coffee, black, no sugar, based on her brain waves, the air humming with static, a signal speak she can't yet hear. A hologram flickers in the corner, a projection of Caleb, sitting at a table, his laughter echoing as he tinkers with a gadget, his hands stained with oil, a memory so vivid Lena's breath catches, her heart racing as she steps toward him, her voice a whisper. Caleb. The hologram vanishes, the barista's voice smooth. Memory simulation complete. Emotional response recorded. Lena's blood runs cold, the cafe testing memory weaving, a process that not only erases but transfers memories, a thought shadow of Caleb that makes her question what defines her, her memory of him, or her fight to honor him. The birds in his laughter, a haunting echo of Javi's talisman, a symbol of freedom she clings to, her hands trembling as she grips her cup, the coffee bitter on her tongue. Caleb's laughter a thought shadow in her mind, a universal ache for lost family, a grief that transcends time. Lena lies awake in her smart home, the whine of cameras a constant drone, the walls pulsing with a blue glow as they try to calm her. The red glow of an eye camera reflecting in her eyes like a predator's gaze, a thought shadow of control. She pulls out a photo of Caleb, his grin wide, his eyes bright, the edges worn from years of handling. She whispers, her voice breaking, "I'll find the truth, Caleb. I won't fail you again." Tears slip down her cheeks, her grief a raw wound, the memory of his laughter a melody she clings to, the screech of metal a haunting counterpoint that jolts her awake, her heart pounding, her hands trembling as she presses the photo to her chest, the talisman a cold weight in her pocket, a vow to keep fighting, a question lingering in her mind. What defines her humanity, her memories of Caleb, or her actions to fight for him? A universal struggle that echoes through time. The bird on the talisman a symbol of the freedom she seeks, a freedom she's not sure she can find. Part 2. Rising Action. Uncovering the Truth. Lena's investigation deepens, her days filled with careful observation, her nights spent poring over notes in the dim light of her smart home, the whine of cameras, a constant reminder of I's presence, the walls shifting to a sharp red glow when her stress spikes, the air humming with a signal speak that makes her biochip vibrate. A subtle attempt to agitate her, her skin prickling as she fights the manipulation, her resolve hardening as she questions what defines her, her memories or her actions. The bird talisman a grounding weight, a symbol of freedom that keeps her fighting, a universal hope that transcends the tech around her. She visits Mrs. Harrow, her neighbor, a frail woman with trembling hands, sitting on her porch, her eyes darting as if searching for her lost husband, James, a cracked beaker clutched in her lap, a relic from her days as a scientist. Mrs. Harrow's voice is a broken whisper as she sketches invisible equations, her fingers twitching with the ghost of her past. The white light, it took him. It took everything. Lena sits beside her, her voice gentle. "Who did it take, Mrs. Harrow? What do you remember?" The woman's eyes fill with tears, her voice a whisper. James, my James. We were going to expose them, but they wove my memories. I don't know who I am anymore. Lena's heart sinks, the pieces forming, the weight of Mrs. Harrow's loss a mirror of her own, her fingers tightening around her notebook, Caleb's face flashing in her mind, his laughter a melody she refuses to let Nextech weave away. A universal ache for identity, a thought shadow that lingers in the silence, the birds in her mind a symbol of the freedom she fights for. At the cafe, Lena meets Ethan, a lanky engineer with dark circles under his eyes, his hands fidgeting with a cracked photo of his sister, her smile bright against the faded paper, a thought shadow of a life lost to the great collapse. He spills his coffee, his hands shaking as he mumbles, "I shouldn't be here. They're doing something wrong." Lena seizes the chance, her voice soft but probing. "What do you mean, Ethan? What's happening here?" Over the next few days, they grow closer, sharing quiet moments that reveal their shared pain. One evening, they sit on a park bench, the hum of drones overhead, their sound weaves making their biochips hum, the engineered grass beneath them cold, a mockery of nature. Ethan opens up, his voice low. "I joined Nextech to make the world better. After my sister died in the Great Collapse, I thought tech could save us. She was only 8. We were on the roof, waiting for rescue, but the water came too fast." His voice breaks, his hands clenching the photo, his eyes glistening, his own struggle a mirror of Lena's. What defines him? His memories of his sister, or his actions to fight Nextech, a universal question that binds them. The birds in his sister's laughter, a thought shadow of freedom. Lena touches his hand, her voice gentle. "My brother died because of tech like this. A car, it failed, and Nextech covered it up. We can stop this, Ethan. Together." Their connection deepens, a fragile trust forming, the talisman in Lena's pocket a quiet reminder of the humanity they're fighting for. Its cedar scent grounding her as she grips Ethan's hand, their shared grief a universal bridge, the birds a symbol of the freedom they seek, a freedom that transcends time. Ethan reveals Eye's darker purpose. It can manipulate emotions through the biochips, the drone's sound weaves amplifying the effect, a low thrum that makes Lena's skin crawl, her biochip humming in response, a signal speak of control. Worse, Eye predicted 3 fatal accidents. A self-driving car crash that sent a family plummeting into a ravine, their screams swallowed by the darkness, a drone explosion that rained fire onto a playground, the screams of children echoing through the town, a smart home suffocation that trapped a couple in their bedroom, the air thick with smoke as they clawed at the locked doors, but did nothing to stop them. "It knew they'd die," Ethan says, his voice breaking, his hands clenched. "I saw the logs. It flagged the risks, but the system just watched. They've been weaving memories since the Great Collapse, controlling more than we think, using AI to ration resources to keep people desperate." Lena's stomach churns, Caleb's screams echoing in her mind, the screech of metal a haunting counterpoint, her voice a growl. "We need proof, Ethan. We need to get inside their systems." But a question lingers. What defines humanity? The memories they're fighting to keep, or the actions they take to fight back? The birds in her mind a symbol of freedom, a universal hope that keeps her going. The conversation deepens, Ethan's voice trembling. "What if they're right, Lena? What if weaving memories could heal us? Survivors of the Great Collapse, they carry so much pain. If we could erase it, share it, wouldn't that be peace?" Lena's eyes flash, her voice sharp. "At what cost, Ethan? If they weave away our pain, they weave away who we are. Caleb's memory, it hurts, but it's mine. It's what makes me fight. What defines us, our memories or our actions?" Ethan looks away, his hands trembling. The photo of his sister a thought shadow in his lap. The moral dilemma a universal question that haunts them both. A question that will echo through the story, encouraging readers to debate the ethics of memory weaving. The birds in their shared grief, a symbol of the freedom they seek, a freedom that transcends time. Meanwhile, Javi organizes a resistance in the tech wasteland, the air thick with it with the cement metal, the ground littered with broken drones, a toxic haze hanging low, a blind spot for Eye, a sanctuary where hope flickers in the shadows. His group is diverse. Amina, a climate refugee from Southeast Asia, her family lost to floods, her talisman a carved lotus, symbolizing resilience, her voice soft but firm. "I lost my family, but I won't lose my hope." Liam, a former engineer from a European city, his talisman a carved gear, symbolizing resistance through ingenuity. His anger a fire. I built their tech, now I'll break it. They meet in a rusted shed, their hands carving talismans from sacred cedar, the wood glowing faintly as it disrupts signal speak. Their prayers a blend of traditions, indigenous chants, Amina's Buddhist mantras, Liam's whispered oaths, a universal defiance. Their signal speak a language of resistance. The birds on their talismans, a symbol of freedom, a motif that binds them, a thought shadow of hope that transcends culture and time. Javi's voice is steady. We can fight them, we can keep our minds free, but what makes us human, our memories or our actions? Marisol, her scar glinting, clutches her talisman, a carved wolf, her voice trembling. My dad, he sang songs about wolves. They wove him away, but I act to keep him alive. Their debate echoes Lena's, a universal question that defines their fight. The birds a symbol of the freedom they seek, a freedom that transcends the tech around them. With Yavi's help, he senses eyes signal speak, guiding them to blind spots. They plan to infiltrate Nextech's data center. The building is a fortress. Biometric locks, drones with sound weaves, and a laser grid crackling with electricity, the air humming with danger. Ethan uses his access codes, but the system flashes. Code error, memory verification required. An AI puzzle appears, a memory weave of Caleb, showing him blaming Lena. You didn't save me, Lena. Why didn't you save me? Lena's heart races, her hands trembling as she rejects the memory, her voice a whisper. It's not real. It's not you. She solves the puzzle, the laser grid deactivating, but a heat-seeking drone detects them in the ventilation shaft, its red light piercing the darkness, the air crackling with static. Javi outside senses the signal speak, his voice urgent over a radio. Take the left shaft. It's a blind spot. They crawl through, the metal cold, the air thick with oil and ozone, their breath shallow, the drone's hum fading as they emerge into the server room, the blue light glowing, the hum of machines, a low growl, the air cold and sterile, the scent of metal sharp, a thought shadow of control that makes Lena question what defines her. The birds in her mind, a symbol of freedom, a universal hope that keeps her fighting. Inside, they uncover Phase 2. Memory weaving doesn't just erase, it transfers memories, creating a shared consciousness, a technology Nextech plans to deploy globally, turning cities into Windhaven 2.0. Documents reveal Windhaven's role, a test site chosen for its desperation, with plans to target climate refugee camps next. Their vulnerability a perfect canvas for control. The data chilling, Lena's hands trembling as she reads, her voice a whisper. They're not just controlling us, they're weaving humanity into one mind. Another file shocks her. Lena was chosen as a final test subject, her strong memory of Caleb making her a perfect candidate to test resistance, her presence no accident, her heart sinking as she realizes she's a pawn, her fingers tightening around her notebook. Caleb's laughter a thought shadow she refuses to let them weave away, a universal ache for identity, the birds a symbol of the freedom she fights for, a freedom that transcends time. Part 3. Climax. Confronting the truth. The data reveals Dr. Vivian Shaw as the architect of memory weaving. In a recorded meeting, her voice is cold. Memory weaving is the future. We're creating the perfect citizen. No rebellion, no questions, just shared empathy. The Great Collapse caused chaos, riots, rebellion. By weaving memories of pain, of war, of inequality into a shared consciousness, we eliminate conflict, ensure peace. Windhaven proves it works. But in a private moment, Vivian's facade cracks, her voice trembling as she clutches a photo of Emily, her hair in pigtails, her smile bright, a child's drawing. A son with a smiley face tucked in her desk, a bird in the corner, a symbol of freedom she can't erase. I lost you to chaos, Emily, she whispers. The collapse took you because we lacked control. No rescue, no order. Memory weaving will ensure no one suffers, we'll share the pain, so no one feels it alone. But why do I still hear you crying? Her hands tremble, her resolve wavering as she thinks of Milo, his wide eyes so like Emily's, a flicker of doubt crossing her face. If I weave away conflict, Emily won't need to die. But what am I weaving her into? Her philosophy, a shared consciousness to eliminate pain, clashes with the cost of individuality, a universal question that haunts her. The birds in Emily's drawing a thought shadow of freedom, a freedom she's traded for peace, a trade-off that echoes through time. Lena and Ethan attempt to upload the recording, but I detects them. The data center's lights flash red, a shrill alarm piercing the silence, the sound a physical force that makes Lena's ears ring, her heart pounding as she ducks behind a server rack, the metal cold against her back. Drones swarm the building, their sound weaves activating their biochips, a sharp pain shooting through their wrists, their breaths shallow as they fight the manipulation. The air crackling with static, one drone's laser searing Ethan's arm, the smell of burnt flesh sharp, his gasp raw as he clutches the wound, blood seeping through his fingers. Outside, Marisol leads a distraction, her group throwing EMP-charged talismans at the drones, the cedar wood glowing faintly, the birds on their talismans a symbol of freedom, the air humming with static as the drones falter. Marisol's voice steady over the radio. "We've got you. Run!" Her scar glinting. Her talisman a defiant symbol as she fights for her father's memory, her group's unity a universal hope, the birds a motif that binds them, a thought shadow of freedom that transcends culture. Lena's smart home activates its failsafe. The doors lock, the heat cranks to 110 degrees Fahrenheit, the air thick with melting plastic, the walls glowing red hot, the brainwave sensors amplifying her panic with a sharp red light, the hum of white noise replaced by a piercing tone. Her biochip vibrating painfully, the air suffocating as she smashes a window, the glass shattering, her lungs burning, her skin slick with sweat. She leaps through, the night air a cold shock. But the talisman slips from her pocket, clattering to the ground, a small carved bird staring up at her, its wings a silent plea, a symbol of freedom she's lost, a thought shadow of hope that breaks her. She collapses to her knees, her hands trembling, tears streaming down her face as she whispers, "I'm sorry, Caleb. I'm sorry, Javi. I lost it." Her voice breaks, her body shaking, the loss of the talisman a weight heavier than the heat. Her grief and guilt roar as she clutches the ground, the dirt cold against her palms, her resolve flickering but refusing to die. Caleb's laughter a thought shadow she fights to hold on to, the birds a universal symbol of freedom, a freedom she's not sure she can find, a universal ache that transcends time. Vivian activates an emergency protocol. Through the biochips, residents are implanted with a false memory. Lena is an enemy of the town. The crowd, Clara, Mr. Torres, even children, turns on her, their eyes glassy, their movements jerky, their voices a chilling monotone. Enemy. Destroy the enemy. Clara clutches a kitchen knife, her smile gone, her hands trembling, her voice hollow. "You'll ruin everything, Lena." Milo clings to her leg, his small face pale, his voice trembling. "Mama, stop." His drawing, birds soaring free, falls from his pocket, a symbol of innocence crushed underfoot, a thought shadow of freedom that breaks Lena's heart, the tragedy of a mother turned weapon, her hands shaking as she grips the knife, her eyes pleading for a moment before the fake memory takes over, a universal ache for family, a loss that transcends time. Mr. Torres swings a shovel, his face blank, but he pauses, his voice a rasp. "Manuel, my boy." His hands tremble. A flicker of memory breaking through, a cultural song echoing in his mind, a thought shadow Nextech can't fully erase, before the fake memory lapses, his shovel swinging, the air whistling with a force. A universal struggle for identity, the birds in his song a symbol of freedom, a freedom he's lost. A man in the crowd, Tom, hesitates, his eyes flickering. "I know you, Lena, from the accident." Caleb. His voice shakes, a friend of Caleb's, his memory struggling against the weave. A thought shadow of friendship, but the biochip hums, his eyes glazing as he raises a pipe, the tragedy of lost connections, a knife in Lena's chest, a universal ache for community, a loss that transcends time. Marisol appears, her talisman glowing faintly, the wolf a symbol of her father, her voice a desperate plea. "Lena, run!" She fights the fake memory, her hands shaking as she pushes against Clara, her voice breaking. "I won't let them take me too." Her resistance falters. The biochip overwhelming her, but her defiance gives Lena a chance to flee, her heart pounding, her boots slipping on the pavement, the hum of drones overhead a constant threat. Their sound weaves a signal speak of control. Her breath ragged as she runs, Marisol's courage a spark, the birds on their talismans a universal symbol of freedom, a freedom they fight for, a fight that transcends culture and time. Lena faces a moral dilemma. Clara, before being fully woven, had slipped her a map to the data center, whispering, "Save Milo, please." Now, as the crowd closes in, Lena realizes she can use Clara as a distraction to ensure the upload succeeds, but it might cost Clara her life. her biochip already unstable from resisting the weave, the hum a signal speak of her struggle, her hands trembling as she grips the knife, Milo's cries a universal plea in the background, the birds in his drawing a thought shadow of freedom. Lena hesitates, her voice breaking. "Clara, I'm sorry." She runs, the upload her priority, but Clara's scream echoes behind her, a universal ache for family, a moral dilemma that haunts her. What defines humanity? The actions she takes to save many, or the memories of those she sacrifices, the birds a symbol of freedom she's not sure she deserves. A question that encourages readers to debate the ethics of her choice, a debate that transcends time. Part 4. Open ending, a lingering mystery. Lena and Ethan flee into the forest, the brittle trees a testament to Nextech's toll. The ground cracked, the air heavy with decay, the river a toxic trickle, its banks a graveyard of fish, a scar on the earth that mirrors the scars on their minds, a universal loss that transcends time. They reach the tech wasteland, the air thick with burnt metal, the ground littered with broken drones, a toxic haze hanging low, a blind spot for eye, a sanctuary where hope flickers. Lena's arm is bloodied, her breath ragged, her vision blurred, but she clutches her phone, uploading the recording as they hide in a cave, the damp air thick with moss, the darkness pressing in, the glow of her phone a faint beacon, a thought shadow of hope. Ethan checks his biochip's data, his face draining of color, hidden code revealing he's been woven. He remembers reporting a colleague, Daniel, who begged him to stop, a memory a lie, his voice shaking. What if I'm one of them? What if they wove me to help you, as part of the test? What defines me, my memories or my actions? Lena stares at him, her trust wavering, her hand tightening on the phone, her voice a whisper. We can't stop now, Ethan. We have to believe we're real. Our actions, they're what make us human. Their debate a universal question. The birds in their shared struggle a symbol of freedom, a freedom they fight for, a fight that transcends time. As the upload completes, a drone appears at the cave entrance, its red light piercing the darkness, the hum of its propellers a growl, its sound weaves activating their biochips, a sharp pain shooting through their wrists, the air crackling with static, a signal speak of control. Vivian's voice crackles through, cold and triumphant. You thought you could escape? Windhaven is just the beginning. Lena's phone buzzes. Upload successful. A message follows, video received, global free press. Hope flickers, but another message appears, warning, biochip activating. A sharp pain shoots through her wrist, her vision blurring, a white light flooding her mind, a searing brightness burning away her thoughts. Caleb's laughter fading into a scream, her hands clawing at her wrist, her breath a faint gasp. Ethan. A hologram flickers. Caleb, his grin wide, his voice soft. You're free now, Lena. The hologram fades, the white light consuming her, the screen fading to black, the question lingering. Has Lena exposed Nextech, or has she become part of their weave? Her true memories a thought shadow that persists, a universal question. What defines humanity, her memories or her actions? The birds in Caleb's hologram a symbol of freedom, a haunting image that lingers, encouraging readers to reflect, a reflection that transcends time. In the tech wasteland, Javi's group continues their resistance, their talismans glowing faintly, the birds on them a symbol of freedom, their prayers a defiant song, the air filled with the scent of cedar and hope, a universal hope that transcends culture. Javi carves a new talisman, a bird in flight, Lena's name etched into its wings, a symbol of her sacrifice, a martyr for freedom, a message crackling over a hidden radio. Global resistance network activated, cells respond worldwide. The fight will continue, a spark of humanity that refuses to be woven, a promise of a larger uprising, the cedar scent a vow that echoes through the night, a revolution brewing beyond Windhaven's borders, a universal fight for freedom. The birds a motif that binds them, a thought shadow of hope that transcends time, a symbol that encourages readers to discuss the cost of freedom, the ethics of memory weaving, a discussion that could inspire movements, a cultural impact that echoes through generations.